If you are looking for the revenue you need in order to invest to scale, whether it be in team, whether it be in technology, whether it be in learning a new thing, you have to be able to sell and grow your business.
Hey, it's the Profit Answer Man, Rocky Lalvani. If you're new to the podcast, check out my interview with Mike Michalowicz. It's episode number 2. If you want to hear about each chapter in the Profit First book, go back and listen to episodes 3 through 13. Episode 1 is the why and how. On the Profit Answer Man, we learn money mastery without all the complicated accounting mumbo-jumbo using a simple system. Your accountant is busy documenting your transactions and creating a rearview mirror of what happened. My guess is you don't even look at the reports they sent you. If you're like most business owners, you struggle with this, and it's not your fault. We aren't taught money in school, and accountants aren't taught how to be profitable. The Profit First system created by Mike Michalowicz works, and he certified me to help you implement the system in your business. Remember, the new equation is sales minus profit equals expenses. Let's face it, without cash flow, you can't pay your employees, buy needed materials, or pay your mortgage and support your family. I help you to do that and more, so you can focus on the parts of the business you love and receive the rewards for your labor and investment into your business. The stronger you are as a business owner, the more jobs you create, the better we are as a country. Small business owners are the backbone of America, and for that, you deserve to be well rewarded. Just remember, more revenue does not equal more profit. That's why we focus on the bottom line. Today, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to chat about how to go from business operator to business owner. But more importantly, do you even want to? You have to understand yourself, your desires, and your skill sets along with what brings you joy. Why? Because your business is supposed to serve you. You are not supposed to be a slave to it. I built my business to serve me doing what I love. Our guest is Erin Marcus, the founder and CEO of Conquer Your Business, an international company helping driven entrepreneurs and small business owners get the financial and emotional freedom they need to build a business and a life they are proud of. Let's meet Erin. Welcome to the Profit Answer Man, Erin Marcus. It's great to have you join us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you share a little bit about yourself and your business?
I love when people ask me this question. As I get older, there's more years to pull from. Where do you want to start, right? No, seriously though, Erin Marcus, founder and CEO of Conquer Your Business. And we help service-based professionals really get over the bridge from doing the work that the business does and into being a business owner that allows them to scale and grow, but still keep that thought leader personal brand out in front of the business.
I suck at that.
Then don't do it. Like, that's one of the things I love about you. Like, my whole thing is like, so my tagline for my business is be in charge, take action, get results. And the be in charge piece is like, what do you want? There is so not just one way to do things. If you suck at something, if you don't like something, my whole thing is don't do it because it won't go well. It won't go well. So find the thing that you like. Where is the intersection between the thing you're good at, the thing you love doing, and the thing that is in service to other people so you can make money and just live at that intersection?
I did. And you know what wasn't in that intersection?
Money.
Employees.
Oh, that's a different problem.
Yes, the money's not a problem. It's people.
Right, other humans. Well, to that point though, I'm glad you said that, because to that point, when we talk about what do I do for my clients and getting over that bridge, one of the biggest mistakes I watch people make that prevents it is really in team. And they hire, I said the mistake people make is you need to hire for horsepower and not task rabbits. Because when you hire people to take something off your to-do list, you replace doing the thing with managing the person, right? That's the problem. You go from hating doing the thing to hating being a babysitter. So it's not actually a solution. That's not how it works, right? If you hire for horsepower, takes a little minute, it takes a hot minute to find the right people. But oh my God, the payoff. I get zero stress from my team. I'm sure I stress the hell out of them, but I have zero stress in my life from my team.
That's amazing. I wasn't sure how to do that, so I just stayed away from it. And I am okay with that decision.
Right? That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And it's funny because the same way with my clients, I want to work with business owners who can get stuff done.
Right.
Not that they have to go to a committee meeting.
Oh, yeah. So I teach sales is one of the things I teach. And a lot of people say, well, what do you say to somebody who says, let me check with my spouse? And I'm the worst person in the world to respond to that because I don't get it. Like, it's your business. Not that you shouldn't have a good relationship with a significant other and mutually agreed upon boundaries, et cetera, et cetera. But if this is my business, and they don't own my business, run my business, or know how to grow a business, like, I'm bad at that one.
It's an excuse.
It's an excuse. It is.
That's okay.
It's an excuse.
So we love Profit First. We always love to chat about it. How did you learn about Profit First?
I had always heard of it. Like, I knew the phrase. I had heard of it. I never dove into it until I was at an event, and Mike and I won't butcher his last name, so I'm not going to try. Michalowicz, is that right?
Very good.
There we go. It came back. Mike Michalowicz was a speaker. It was a virtual presentation that he did. And so I, at the time, didn't realize that he was also the author of The Pumpkin Plan, which I had read, didn't make the connections. But here he was, and I knew he was going to be speaking, and it was the Profit First thing. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm at this 3-day event, whatever. But he really blew me away with his personalness, right? I'm sure there's a better word for that.
He's funny and he's vulnerable.
He's funny. He's honest. He's one of my big things is connect as a human first. And a lot of times we assume somebody who's talking about finance and numbers isn't going to do that. He does it 100%. I was very impressed with his ability to mix high level business acumen and interpersonal emotional intelligence that fast by Zoom to a huge audience. Perfect example. We buy things from people we know, like, and trust. So I'm like, he hacked know, like, and trust for me. Like, isn't that interesting? So I went home from that event and purchased Profit First, and I read the book, and I was excited that I have enough business experience I totally understood what he's saying. There are sections that were more complex, but it's very straightforward if you take your notes and you pay attention. And as much as I'm a marketing and sales and strategy person, my background is business. And if you don't know your numbers, you don't have a business, right? I tell my clients all the time, go watch Shark Tank, listen to the questions that they're asking. And if you don't know the answers for those questions, you've got some work to do. And so it was very much in alignment with simplifying, and yet, like, how do you take something that's difficult and make it easy all at the same time so that it's accessible? And the other thing that I liked about it is I'm a big fan of, like, all right, just hit me with it, right? Just hit me with the bad information. Tell me what I'm screwing up. Tell me where I'm wrong. Like, just tell me so I can do something about it. And I think people hesitate to jump in a Profit First because they don't want to face what they assume is going to be the difficult truths. So I'm a big fan of, all right, hit me with it. So I appreciated that as well.
You will always get the difficult truth, whether you go looking for it or not. It will come a knocking. What I love about Profit First, though, is Profit First gives you the early warning. Like, hey, there's a problem. Fix it while you still can. And there's oxygen in the room and cash in the bank account to help you through.
It's, it's creating your own economy, a leading indicator. So you're not stuck cleaning up lagging indicators, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's what this is. It's the earliest leading indicator, cash for the intended purpose in real time. It's funny because we're part of the Profit First team and so forth, and partnered with Mike, we get to watch the old videos. And I got to tell you, Mike has come a long way.
Hey, we all
but
have.
You know what?
Agree.
That's what you do. You show up, and what he's really good at is intentionally focusing on improving himself.
I absolutely love it. I think, unfortunately, we've created an environment and a society where there's no space for that. And there's less and less. It's in the entrepreneurial world, there's a ton of space for that. But
is there another world?
Not for some of us, right? For some of us, not so much, right? But if you look at cancel culture, if you look at kids and the pressure they have because if they fail the test, like there's not enough room for non-judgmental, put it that way, less judgmental self-improvement compared to in the entrepreneur. I say the same thing about my podcast. We're 200, 250 episodes in, and I look at the original ones going, God, why did anyone keep listening to me?
They might not have listened back then.
They might not have, right?
Hey, it all works out. So let's kind of talk a little bit about marketing and sales, because I think that's one of the things when you're a company and you're growing, that is essentially the engine of growth. But yet, and I was just on a call a little bit before this one, and we were talking about we're talking about business owners who are like, I need a salesperson to go sell. Well, what's your process? And they're like, well, but what? And they don't know what they're selling. They don't know to whom they're selling. They don't know why people are buying from them. And yet they expect some salesperson or some social media, or marketing magic bullet.
They don't, the way that I describe it is people don't do the work before going to work. They don't go and do the work. They don't know this. They hate, as soon as I say niche and client avatar, their eyes roll over. They don't want to hear it. But here's the way that I describe this. If you don't know who your person is, how are they supposed to know they're your person?
Well, that's a good question.
Right. They don't, right. And they don't. And so to your point, we look for easy solutions, meaning I'll just hire a salesperson who's better at it than I am, and they'll go do it. And then I don't have to do it because, kind of like with the Profit First, we didn't look at we don't want to hear the dirty truth of it, that you don't know what you're doing yet.
It's funny. I had this conversation the other day about going to the gym, and I hear this all the time. They're like, well, I'm going to start doing that when I lose weight.
Now
how is that going to work? Right. You got to go to the gym so you can work out so you can lose weight.
And my coach said, one of my coaches that I worked with for several years said that to me, Erin, you don't get the money to hire the coach. You hire the coach in order to make the money. Same problem.
Well, it's, what comes first, right? Yeah. The chicken or the egg. And there has to be a little bit back and forth, but I think you need to be ready for it, right? You have to be willing to do the work, show up. And as a business owner, there's a lot we need to learn, but it doesn't mean we need to do it all, right? So even though I understand the sales and marketing, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it, but you do have to know when you're getting BS'd.
Yeah, right. You got to know enough to be dangerous. And there's certain things in your business you don't have to know or really ever need to know. You just need to know what the outcome is that you want and hold people to the standards of creating that outcome. Tech is a lot like that for me. I don't have to know, like I have a podcast, it gets turned into, right? I do a live show, it gets turned into a podcast, it gets turned into a blog, it gets turned into social media clips, it gets turned into a newsletter. I couldn't tell you how to do it. the tech aspect of it. I knew what I wanted. The team went and researched the tools, came back with their recommendation, came back with like, this is what will get you there. This is pros, cons, costs, etc. Great. Have at it. Sales and marketing, however, is the revenue generator machine of your business. And to me, if there's only one dot separating me from the money in the business, I need to know how that works. And I was just talking to someone as well about this. If you are looking for the revenue you need in order to invest to scale, whether it be in team, whether it be in technology, whether it be in learning a new thing, you have to be able to sell and grow your business. You don't go learn the complicated funnels, right? To your point, you don't hire the salesperson and create the complicated funnels. There's too many dots between that, implementing it, and too many dots between the client and you becoming your client, right? The more you can streamline all this, the faster you'll grow.
So I'm hearing two things there. One is building the right team, and two is creating the right systems and processes. And actually, there's three there, which is the most important one. Not running around with your hair on fire, just standing there and going, thumbs up, thumbs down. Did it work? Did it not work? It didn't work. Go fix it. It did work. Congratulations. Do more.
My background's in financial services, and I was talking to somebody, and the way he said it was perfect. The CEO, the business owner's job is asset allocation.
Yes.
It's asset allocation.
Yeah.
Team, money, time. Mm-hmm. It's asset allocation. It's not digging around more often than not, hiding in something that keeps you busy. When you're trying to become a business owner, right? If you're solopreneur, entrepreneur, and you're trying to get over that bridge to a business owner, it's not about doing more work. It's about doing different work. And most of the time, it's scarier work to the person, right? Because they have to put themselves out there in a different way. They might have to invest. They have to give up some control of something or potentially rely on somebody else. They have to see themselves as a business owner, not just the doer of the thing. And when you build the business just around yourself, doing the work, everything in the business bumps up against you. People don't become business owners because they can't wrap their mind around doing more work. And the answer is you don't do more work. You do different work. You set the vision, you set the strategy, create the team, allocate the assets.
You have to spend more time thinking and less time doing.
Yeah.
And if you're too busy doing, you don't have the time to think.
Yeah. And for most of us, having open space in our calendar makes us nervous because we think we should be doing something.
Oh, I like lots of space in my calendar. As a matter of fact, all my stuff has margin on every side of it. If I don't have margin, I'm freaking out.
Right.
Like there better be space on my calendar.
Right. That's the habit we need to create, is space on the calendar, not more things on the calendar.
I agree. So going from the solopreneur or small business owner, or I'm going to rephrase that, business operator, to a business owner is a very different mindset. It's a very different behavior. My first question is, can everyone do that, or does it take a different kind of person? Because I've been listening to Leap from Gino Wickman, and Gino's like, no, certain people are good at certain things, and play to your strengths.
I think it's a mixture. I think there is a whole group of people, and goes back to where you started with, I don't want to do that, so I didn't do it. I did it this way. I think that is the key. There's a difference between I am successful, I figured out what was going to be necessary, and I decided I didn't want to do that. That's different than I'm scared, so I'm settling, right? I've got limiting beliefs. I've got mindset problems. I won't look at my numbers, right? I'm playing ostrich. And so I can't get there. If a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of solopreneurs, they go into business because they love doing the thing the business does. As you become a business owner, it can feel like you are moving further and further and further away from what the business does. And some people don't want that. They want to do the thing, right? Which is fantastic. Do the thing, but know that, and then optimize your resources accordingly. Don't get frustrated. Don't go throwing a bunch of money and time at something you don't want anyway. Like, that's fine. You can say, I didn't like it or I couldn't do it, whatever. My whole thing is that you get to pick what you want and make it happen instead of settling for what you don't want because you can't figure something out. And then I do believe that there's just certain people who there's a gap in their skills, whether it's a technical skill, whether it's emotional intelligence, it could be anything. If that's the case, then you need to partner with someone who fills that gap, and then you can get there. So for me, I can't do processes. I won't follow processes. I just won't. It isn't going to happen. If there's a form to fill out, I'm not doing it. I will come up with a process to get an outcome. It won't work for other people because evidently I think weird. That's fine. I have this amazing COO to do that. Because rather than bang my head against the wall, sucking at something I don't like doing, I found a person who is a really good complement to me. And between the two of us, we fill the gaps. Now, I'm the visionary. I'm the business owner, but I couldn't do what I do without her. I could do it like once, maybe twice, and then it would get all screwed up, right? So in terms of I don't think everybody is great at everything, but if you want something, figure out how to do it. And maybe that's finding your yin and yang. Maybe that's carving a different version of it.
We keep coming back to Gino's books. I don't know why, but they seem to fit today. But that's what Rocket Fuel is all about. Rocket Fuel is visionary with operations person, and you have tremendous success. And it's funny because I heard that somewhere else, and it wasn't used those words. It was looking at Myers-Briggs. And it's like when you have an ENTJ with an INTJ, you have protection, you have the perfect combo of people. And because one's out there with the visionary, the other one's the ops person. And it's same but different concept.
And the way that I describe it in a much, much less technical term, I'm a balloon. I need a string. And the string needs the balloon. Otherwise, you're just laying flat on the floor.
Correct. And this is where I don't think that the ops person realizes their job is to hold you back and to determine which things you should be flying with and which things we're going to pop.
Right. She needs to slow my roll. And she does a great job because it just happened this past Monday. We made a huge pivot in the business because she asked me one question. Because I wanted to do something and then I didn't want to do something and then it worked this way and it didn't work. And I was, I was externally processing the situation. And she just stopped me and said, do you even want to do this? Why are you doing this? Because I went into problem solving mode. And she asked me a better question. Do we even want to be solving the problem? Do we care? And I went, you know what? I don't want to do that. And we dumped the entire thing. So, and you can believe in the woo-woo and you don't strike me as a woo-woo person, but here we are. We made this decision on Monday. I didn't want to do this. It was too complicated. I hated doing half of the work that had to be done. I was making myself do it. She's like, let it all go. And last week I contracted $100,000 in business after she said that to me because I was able to focus, right? I was pointed in one direction instead of this problem that I was spiraling out on. I was floating away in my balloon. And she, brought me back down and pointed me in a direction. And it worked that fast.
It's not as much woo as you think. Quantum physics is proving that this comes to be. When you set a plan and you are very crystal clear on what you want and you move in a direction and you ask, you will get there.
Well, and it's the neuroscience, right? Your brain, when you fixate on a problem, there's neuroscience, all your brain sees is a problem. As soon as you let it go and you look at a solution, your brain goes, oh, yay, solutions. And they all just come.
And along the same lines, from the numbers standpoint, the people who hate looking at the numbers will never look at them. So do something about it. Right?
Do something. It's that simple. We've talked for 20 minutes. Just freaking do something about it. Right? It's really that simple. What do you want? What are you good at? Wrap yourself in the people who are good at the supplemental things.
Yeah. So has it always been success for you?
Oh God, no. I fail at more crap. I screw everything up. Nobody has screwed up more things than me. Here's where this comes from. It's a weird, you can't tell, but I'm only 5 feet tall. And before I got old, I weighed all of 100 pounds. And yet I was a competitive power lifter for decades. And part of training in that world, the goal is failure. In that world, the goal is failure. I am trying to figure out the point at which my muscles fail. And I started that when I was 19 years old, before girls did that. And that's always my approach. Where does it break? How far can I get? So when I say that, is it always success? No, because the goal is failure. My goal, I'm still driven enough at this point in my life. And for whatever reason that may or may not change. My goal is always to figure out, what can I do? What can I pull off? How far can I go? How can I figure this out? The world to me is a big, giant puzzle. It's a big, giant puzzle that I just keep trying to figure out. My business, I love the puzzle of business. Move the levers. What does this do? The thing that, going back to the balloon and the string, the thing that I have to be careful about is because I love that, I will let things break just to fix them and see what else I can do. Gotta be careful about that.
I was squatting and benching this morning, and my goal is never to go to failure because I don't want the bar to hit me on the head.
Nah, that's why you have support. There's ways to. There's ways.
Yeah,
there's protection. Not every workout has to be to failure, but it's funny. So you talked about Myers-Briggs. I love Myers-Briggs. I love disc analysis, strength finders, and I had a boyfriend for a while on the disc. He was definitely a high C, right? High C. And I have, if there's a way to have negative process points, that's me, clearly. And we were at the gym and I was showing him some stuff and he's like, well, how many of these are we going to do? I'm like, well, what do you mean? How many of these are we? Well, how many? I don't know yet. Well, how do you not know? And I'm like, well, I don't know today how many I could do. Usually I do around 8. We might get only 6. We might get 12. You do them until you can't do them anymore. We're not here to count things. We're here to stretch our muscles. We're not here to count things.
It's funny. I have a weird combination. I'm high D, high C.
Oh, great. So the loveliness, that explains everything. The loveliness of the high D, high C is we have to reach the goal, high D, and there's only one way to do it, high C, as opposed to, that's a lovely combination. No wonder you don't want to work with anybody, right? Like that's a high D, high C is goal oriented, but there's only one right way to reach the goal.
I don't think there's one right way, but I know that there is a right path. And if you show me on the wrong path, then we'll go on the right path. So we're constantly course correcting, but we're just not going to take any damn path that you show up with.
I say, so I'm a really high D, but I'm also a really high I, which is what keeps me from being a total jerk until I'm under stress. And then the I interpersonal just goes away completely.
And that is the problem. Most high Ds So there's no people skills in the high D.
At the end of the day, just get it done. At the end of the day, take the action, solve the problem. At the end, when push comes to shove. Yes, I agree with you.
And I think that's where, so my high C, what it shows me is when I find a proven path that I know will work, I will light it on fire, meaning I will put all the fuel behind it and we will go 100 miles an hour until we notice there's a bump. And then we're going to pull it back and figure out how to get through the bump.
I will follow the path
boom.
Until I get bored.
Well, I get bored too. We all get bored. Don't we all get bored? That's the entrepreneur's life. You do it until you get bored.
And you have to learn, right? You have to learn as you grow your successful business. How do you meet that drive for learning new things without blowing up your business? That's why I love working with the people that I work with, like looking to scale. The one thing I say about them is I help people create that $1 million business. And I help people create a $1 million business, understanding that $1 million is the launch pad for what they want to do next, not just the beginning. Not the end, right? It's the launch pad, not the end. It's fun.
You have to figure out what works for you and go make it happen.
100%.
If people would like to connect with you, learn about you, the podcast, where do they find all this stuff?
We make it really easy. It is all in one place at the website. You can connect with me in 800 different ways there. ConquerYourBusiness.com.
Yeah, don't let your business conquer you.
No, it sucks. It's not the happy place.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Who do you want to be? As I said at the beginning, I reverse my business to serve me and my family. And they're all involved in the business, but I'm not their boss. We all do the parts we love and that's it. Well, sometimes I have to do things I don't want to. But more and more, I get to take that off my plate. I also know I love doing the work. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to manage people. What do you want from your business? And do you design it to do that? See, when you do, it's fun. And then you don't need more resources because you are more resourceful. And it shows up on the bottom line.
If you'd like for us to be a part of your profitability journey, we have different programs available ranging from do-it-yourself to one-on-one coaching. Our course, The Profit Blueprint, teaches you everything you need to know to transform your profitability. There are 3 different tiers ranging from DIY to done with you so that businesses of all sizes can get the support that's best. Join the waitlist in the show notes to get more information and be a part of the next cohort. If you want a done for you service, you can hire us as your chief profitability officers. We only work with a handful of clients, so they all get our full attention. We work with business owners who have or are growing to $500,000 to $10 million in revenue. You can use the scheduling link in the show notes to get on our calendar for a good fit conversation to see if we're the right people to support you and how we can help you.
Remember to check out my other podcast, Richer Soul, where we talk about how to live the ultimate life and be the best business owner you can be. As we close out, let's repeat the mantra. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. Have an abundant and profitable week.